Now we continue, and we have this rough sculpture of the character, and I could add more detail to him, but I'm going to keep it just like that because I'm going to bring it back to Maya and work on it in Maya using more of the topology that I wanted to have. Right now, he has a very high resolution. If I go all the way up, and right now I'm level 4. Well, actually, I can just make sure that that's the one I'm working on. Yes. So level 4 is the highest level resolution that he has. And I'm going to, if you look close, you can see the resolution right there. So it's very heavy. It's not perfect, but it gives me a good start. So I'm gonna go. I'm still connected to Maya. So I'm gonna just say simply, I could say update, or I could say just try to send to Maya and then update the current scene because I still have my Maya scene open connected in the background. So I'm gonna say okay, nothing is selected, so the tile scene will be sent. I'm gonna say okay, just do that, and then it's gonna ask me what do you want to send. Is it the base meshes or the current measurement level? If I send the low level, of course, it's going to be very low res, so I don't want that because I need actually the information that the high res is giving me. So I'm gonna say current level, and that just did a little bit of blinking there, and then it just automatically just jumped to Maya, and just give it a minute for it to process. Then you see a little warning saying there's some little things came and with the object, and really nothing serious. I'm gonna say close that, and you can see my model being updated. And actually, it came with the let's see, maybe the camera. Let me double check what else it came with it. I don't need to probably just delete other things. No, actually not. Just came with the high res geometry, and that's it. So I'm gonna pull back or move to the side the original model just in case, and I have this one that you see. It's heavy, absolutely heavy. So I won't be able to work with this in Maya for animation. So it was way too much for me to to try to animate that. But at this point, I'm just gonna say make a incremental save of my file because I'm gonna use this guy uh, to create my model on. He has more information than my original one, and of course, if I had spent more time on him, I probably could have gotten a better sculpture. Because of the purpose of this video, I don't have the time to do it, but I would probably spend more time and feel more comfortable with it if I had more time. I know that I'm gonna work mostly on one side. So, but before I start working on the actual topology of this, I want to analyze what is it, or I want to know, what I want to achieve with it. Because it's not just as simple as saying, oh yeah, I'm going to just start just creating polygons on top of it. No, I need to know where I'm going with it. So I'm going to just bring my research, and you're going to do some research on finding what you have. So I have my original sketch there. I'm going to look for images online of existing geometry that sort of gives me ideas on how to solve my object. I found this one, which is a cute little character that has amazing cool information for me to work with. He actually solves the whole thing, and I have multiple images. I got these ones from on the online website. I'm gonna just go around it, and you see that the key elements that I have that I want to analyze here are his eyes. Of course, he doesn't have eyes, but a big mouth. And you see that my big mouth has a loop that goes around the mouth there, just like in the other exercise. Of course, a middle point that goes in and out. The belly has another loop that goes around the belly, and then I have the loop that goes around the arm. That makes it pretty cool. I'm gonna try to save that there so I can keep it as a reference there. Okay, then if I still have it there, do I? Yes, I do. So I go, and go find another one which is exactly the same thing. I like this one actually better because this one has um, lower resolution than the previous one, and this one gives me the same thing. A cleaner look at this loop, a cleaner look at this loop, and eyes. Although my character doesn't have an eye, but you'll see here good reference for eye. Additionally, I get a transition for arms and fingers, which mine has in the previous example. Let me save this one too. You save it there, and then I'm gonna go to my previous guy. I can see fingers here. You can see that they break, and I'm probably go back when I get to do the fingers. I'm gonna go back and look at this reference here. And also, I missed, this guy has pretty cool information for those fins that I have on his back. I want to keep my model low res when I'm topologizing it. So this guy, that's why I like this one, because this guy has a lot of little geometry. I found this other one that is kind of pretty rough, but it had the same thing, loops around the eyes, loops around the arms. Let me see it here. Although it's minimal, I don't think it's the best one. Loops around those little antennas there. And I have this one, which is a very high res model that has the same thing. Loops here, a big loop around the big mouth, and of course all the topology that goes down. This one is a little too much for me to go with, so I'm gonna try to keep the ones that I like visible, so that I can go back and forth and analyze them. Okay, let's back to my Maya. So in order to do that, I need to start building my polygons here, and I'm going to actually start section by section, and I'm going to split my screen in two. I'm going to hit 5 here on this one so I can see. Let's see if this one is showing my wireframe on shading, that's why I cannot see it. So very heavy. There he is. I'm going to try to actually make him so that I can clarify the sections that I want to model. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lock my camera on this front view, and I am going to, and I have the drawing there, and I have the geometry, although it's very tough for me to see what the geometry is doing. So you gotta just be attentive to the shapes that I have, and I'm going to draw using my grease pencil tool the rough idea that I have for my topology. So I go back to, I'm going to look at this guy. This guy has a big mouth, which is similar to my character, although my character has an eyelid that matches that kind of mouth. So I'm going to try to generate a loop that goes around that eye, and let's see how I can do that. So I'm just move this guy out of the way here. I'm going to start from that. I know that he's going to have a midline here, so I'm going to let me just get rid of that x-ray. So he's going to have a midline here, which is going to be the one that I'm going to use to mirror him. That's roughly what I wanted to do. And I know that according to my reference, I need a loop around that eye and a loop around that eye or mouth. So I'm going to draw this here. I know there's going to be a little wrinkle there somehow. This one here, too far. Let me do it one more time. That, and I'm going to do another one right there. There's going to be probably here corner that's going to go that way, and this one that's going to come here somehow, and maybe another one that is going to come this way. And of course that means I would probably need some sort of like a polygon that is going to go there, maybe there, maybe there, maybe there, that. Probably that too. I'm really guessing, really, but the important thing is I get my loop organized. I probably will need more information here to generate that little blink there. So when I get there, I'll add that extra information, but for start, I have that. The other thing that I want to pay attention to is just based on my analysis, I need the belly that this little guy has. So I can draw that one on my sketch there. And I'm focusing on the front. So he has a belly here. That means that somehow I'm gonna get here some sort of little loop that's going to give me that belly. Let me just do it again so it looks a little bit better. So I'm just kind of defining the kind of like the little ball that his belly has. There will probably be another one right there that is going to be that, and for sure I know that I'm gonna have to create some more in here somehow for it to follow that effect. So probably that's gonna do this, right? This one's gonna be square, that's fine, but I can try to get this guy to do this somehow to meet somebody there, and then I'm gonna try to get this one out there, and this one down there, and this one down there. Notice what you need to keep looking at your model. Of course, he has a lot, many more, but pretty much do the same thing. There is a corner here which shows a square there, and there is multiple that go horizontally, multiple that go vertically. Eventually, I'm gonna have to just get those to start maybe happening somehow down here, right? And whatever this one does down here, and probably I'm gonna need to do another one down here, and of course another one down there. So I'm analyzing my geometry. Now I just need to try to see if I can find a way to connect. Let me see, erase just a little bit of this tip here. I'm gonna need to connect these guys somehow, maybe here to this one, and then let me see, erase that one a little bit just to clean it up a little bit better. That way I'm not doing what I'm not supposed to be doing. And see, maybe I will need, of course, another one that is going to try to find its way here somehow. And then I'm starting to get kind of n-guns here, but I'll work on those as I move forward. Probably I will just need to find a way to break it that way. So let me start by creating this and that, and of course looping it all around and somehow connecting it. If I need to add another one here, I'll do, but for now I'm gonna try to not add more here, and I create those that I need to do for those two, and then I'll come back to connecting those in a minute. So how am I gonna start with this? And of course it is that you need to create use a tool to do a topology. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna use the tool is going to be from the modeling toolkit. There is this pretty cool tool called the quad draw. So it lets you draw polygons on any geometry. So in order to do that, let me just close this for a moment. I'm gonna click on my object, and that's pretty heavy, and I'm gonna click on this little icon up here, which is gonna make that object live. What that means is that that object is going to be magnetic. So anything that I am gonna try to do with it is gonna stick to it. So with the quad draw tool, I can start drawing on that character the way I want it to. So I'm going to see if I can do it here from the front view. My camera doesn't give me a lot of time because it's locked and I don't want to move it. Well, I can move it on my computer here, but not all computers are good with it. Let's see, if I move it, I kind of lose my tracking. So I'm gonna have to just keep the camera locked and go back to mass view here. I'll try to do it here if I need to refix. So the way this works is this: you just start with clicking on the polygon. Let's see if I can do it there. And then you press your shift key, you put your mouse in the center, and you shift key, and that makes a polygon, and that polygon is attached to it. Then you just need to add two more, shift, two more. I'm going to do it probably here, shift, and you start seeing the process develop. I'm going to try to do this one and see if this one is enough, and then shift, and then I'm going to go closer. I'm just keeping an eye on my front view. This one probably will need one there, and then shift. So you see I'm just kind of mimicking with my that didn't work, so let me undo that one. There, that was a little bit better. And then I'm gonna do this one. Maybe I went a little too far with it. If I went too far, I can try grabbing the vertex and moving it so that it can be fine-tuned as I'm going. I'm just moving it with my mouse, nothing else. I'll try to move it here. Notice that I kind of did this thing around to do that, to kind of get the wrinkles there. So I'm gonna just do, let's see, one here, there, shift. So I'm gonna just pause my video and I'm gonna just keep going, doing this same process all around to try to generate the loop of the eye, and then we're gonna do the belly. So let me just pause the video, that way you don't have to watch me doing it. So here I just went quickly and added the loop around that half of the eye, and of course I just need to make sure that these vertices here are kind of becoming the center of, going to the center of the object. Right now it's moving in an arbitrary way, so make sure that they are doing it correctly. And the cool thing is that when I move them, they still are sticking to the model. So it's not that you're moving them randomly. Notice that, my drawing had just 2 levels, but I decided to add a little bit more because probably I'm gonna need some of that information to do a little bit of wrinkling here. And right now I just did half of it, and that one is good for now. So now I'm gonna just go and move to that centerpiece, which is going to be a lot simpler. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna simply just create again the loop, and then from that I just build up the other pieces. So let me try doing that one on this view. So this one might give me a better chance if I do it this close. So I'm gonna try to just to start with this one here, and again I'm gonna just do one half of it. I know this may be a tedious process, but for some people this might be a little bit easier, so you're not thinking about the topology while you're sculpting, because that is many of the challenges that we face when we are creating 3D characters, that because we're worried about the technical aspect of it, we don't know. Kind of roughing it out here. Just simply just by, when it finds those 3 faces, it makes it a lot easier. You see, there we go. I can go and fine tune some of these vertices here, I can do that one there too, so that I have a better chance to improve it. Okay, now I'm gonna do the exterior one. Let me just pause the video so that way you don't have to sit with me with that. Okay, I just got the whole thing there modeled and matching my object. This one got moved a bit far back, so I'm going to bring it back a little bit, trying to make the better sense of it. Okay, so I have a good beginning. Maybe I need another row here, but because it's going into the other regions, I want to start finding a solution for that. So let me see if I can look at my references and identify what it is. Let me make sure to do incremental save here because I don't want to lose the topology that I have made already. But you see the principle here. We are just analyzing things. So here we're going to try to find the best way to kind of mimic this transition. Let's look at the other character. Maybe the other character gives some ideas on how to mimic the transition from a big mouth to not that one. Let me go back to this one. So here you see that in this one I have in this corner here a star. You see that this one is coming into 5 points, which allow me to get, you know, the squares, the straight lines, the horizontal, vertical that we here, and then transition into this loop that I'm gonna need to build for his arm. So that loop is gonna have to go there, and of course that's going to mean the whole arm. So let's try doing that to see if we can work on it. So I'm gonna just, and then try to blend them together somehow here. So I'm going to actually, because the front view, I already did what the front view would give me. I'm going to create a new camera, and I'm going to look through that camera. I'm going to try to look at my character in that area where I need to work. So I'm going to say somewhere there, and I'm going to just lock that camera, and that way I can come with my grease pencil tool. I'm just gonna color again. If you don't have your grease pencil tool doesn't work on some computers, depending on the graphics card, it becomes a bit funky. You can do it on your own piece of paper or something, so you can draw it and go back and forth on Photoshop, anywhere that makes sense to you. So of course I lost the selection of my polygons, but they are there. They're not gone. They are just created so that I can snap them at any time. So I'm going to actually put them on another layer. You can see along the history that I have on a display layer. So I click on the little icon there. That way I'm going to give it a color. That way they kind of stand out a bit more. That way I can see the object a bit better. Let's see if I can do that, or keep it just templated for now. I just want to be able to see them a bit more. It's not quite enough for me to see it. So for me to see it there, I'm actually going to try to see if I modify transparency of my object. So I'm going to call my outliner. Which one is my outliner? That's not it. Here's my outliner. So I'm going to click on my geometry, which I know that one is my monster. It doesn't highlight, but that's it. And then that one I'm going to graph it so I can get the shader that belongs to it. I'm going to modify that shader. It came just as a Lambert. I'm going to modify the transparency of that shader so I can still see him, but I can see my geometry too. Or see it better. I see my geometry and my new topology. You can play back and forth with it. You can make it black if you want, and make it white. Whatever color works best for you is fine. Alright, so I'm gonna just go with that. Try to make it a bit more visible there. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna minimize this, and I'm gonna try to use my grease pencil tool here in this camera. The camera is locked, so it won't move. And based on my analysis, that means I need to create. And then let me go back to my idea of it. I need it to be going looping around like that on the arm. Alright, let me just get this guy out of the way here. I have it on my second screen. You cannot see it, but I do see it here. Let me make sure this guy is not selected anymore, because I don't want it to be showing just like this here. Okay, so I just finally got it to be, by just making it wireframe unshaded and then wireframe unshaded again, that took care of it. Right, so I'm going to just try to draw on this guy here. So I'm going to create on this guy, I'm going to try to see if I can just go maybe on frame 2, create a new frame there. I'm going to try to draw. So I'm going to start from my thought of, this guy needs a loop. Oh, I'm drawing that one, not here. Let's see if I can do it there. Let me close it again and call it one more time. Alright, let's see if I can do that. Keep drawing on the other one. Hopefully I can do it here. So I'm going to draw a loop there, and the loop is going to allow the arm to grow from it. I also know that I have my geometry, and my geometry is going to have to come down somehow this way and down this way to help the arm grow from it. There may be need to add another one down there for me to have more information to come here. Maybe this one is come down here. Here is probably where it comes to that 5 point, that's 5-star point, where I can add geometry to come and break maybe down there and maybe this way. That way I can start connecting planes, or better polygons, matching. Of course, this means there is one more that needs to go here. This one needs to go to that one. I need to probably add another one to meet in there somehow. So I'm gonna have to spread some of those polygons there and get this one here, this one here, and that one there. So there is need for me to add a few that will continue the transition. Maybe I might need to do a little extra work here to get, this guy is going in here, giving me a little more information. Notice the goal is to keep all in quads. This is going to be a character that would be animated, and you want to have good quads, no triangles at all, so that we have animation, smooth transformations. Right, so here I have another thing that it is that the arm will need some of these edges going down. Probably this guy is going to go that way. I most likely I'm going to need another one here, and here I'm going to have to do exactly the same thing I did down here, which is finding a star that will give me that will give me the information to give a good transition from one region to the other one. And what I'm going to do is, this one has 5 edges here. I'm going to split, so I'm going to do that one here. I'm going to put that one going in the eye again, and this one going to the back there, and this one connecting here. That way I have here that division that makes me actually ended up being just a quad, which was a lot easier than what I thought. Okay, so as you sense, I'm just going by analyzing, finding the best transition I got. Here is a star that I was trying to make up there, but actually ended up happening down here, which is totally fine. And from this will come my arm. I don't want too many edges going down the arm, and I have to do some counting down the arm later on, because I need to make sure that I got enough information for the fingers to happen. But this is pretty cool for me to be able to start doing a bit of my quad drawing, which is pretty neat. So I'm gonna start by, right now the older ones don't get recognized anymore. They are just polygons now. See if I can just try to snap to them. Now they won't snap. So what I'm gonna do is just simply keep them templated. That way I will just do these guys on their own, and eventually we're gonna just plug them together. So I'm gonna just do a few here. So I'm just gonna pause my video capture here, continue going with it, and then show you when I'm a little more advanced. Okay, so I have roughly that segment built and added, so that gives me a good start of that front place. I know that I need to add a few extra edges here and there to complete this section, but so far so good. Now I just need to complete the loop all around to get him to become that the arm, the beginning of the arm. So let me try to do that. So I'm gonna erase this guy here. I'm gonna try to go back. Actually funny, the drawing stayed, although I erased it. Let me unlock my camera and see if I can rotate around. That's very funky. The drawing, I'm gonna delete the frame by just saying grid pencil. I'm gonna delete frames on this camera one. That way I can just refresh my screen. Alright, so I have right now, let me hide my image planes that are doing nothing right now. I just need to hide them. They're not selected right now. Let me see. I just got my outliner. I'm just gonna try to hide them. They don't want to take the hotkey for some reason, so I try to just to do that. That makes it a little bit easier. And I'm gonna minimize this, and of course I know that the faces that I just created are there. There they are. I'm gonna add them to this layer. Actually they are right now, there they are. So I'm gonna add them to that layer. That way I can just continue seeing them lightly there. Okay, so I'm gonna just do the same, continue with my process down here. It's making it a little bit harder for me to look through, but or to recognize the side that I need to do. So I'm gonna have to keep back and forth. I'm gonna put this geometry. Let me see if I can select it. It doesn't show me when it's selected, so large that it's having a hard time showing me selected my computer. So I'm gonna just put that one on a new layer just to have it so that I can kind of like turn it off if I want to, if I need to. So I got my shape roughly there. I have some edges here, some extra edges that I need to continue on this side to go in the eye, which are okay. And I need to finish up these guys here on top to get them to do the final part there. And I'll need to just to go around here and make it so that I can find that best way there. So of course that's just a matter of just drawing, finishing my loop here. I'll do it again, has to be kind of round, and I know that, let me see if I can just see the templated version of it. I'm going to hide my other one for a moment just to be able to see it. So matching it there. And I need to get, let me see if I can untemplate this one to see it better. And then show wireframe on shader for this one. Okay. I haven't locked my camera yet, so I'm kind of like trying to find it and then lock it. So that means this guy is going to come around like that. It's going to have to meet with this guy there. This one's going to need also another one there to meet, probably that one down there. And that one is going to have to meet and do that with the one down there. And of course, they will need to do this radial thing that will build the rest of it. I know that there is something that I need to study there from this top part, and it is that those fins are going to have to come from some geometry up there, but we'll try to get to that in a minute. See if I can not select this guy on this frame. Let me see if I can just wireframe on shader off. There we go. Alright, so let's see what I need to do is because I know that this fins will need some sort of like a mini loop there. If you look at your reference, we'll go back to the reference here quickly. There's a little animation for that one, but no, I want to be able to look at the other one. Let's see if I can do it. There we go. So I'm gonna go to the one that has the little fins on the back, and I know that those have a loop around them, and they have this other extra edge there. So I'm gonna try to generate the loop first for them, and of course the edges that will make the walls or the corners of that. So I'm gonna try to get at least suggesting those guys there, because those guys are gonna have to meet somebody here. So this guy's gonna come here, this guy's gonna come there, this guy's gonna come there. So most likely I'm gonna need to just to erase this one still, because it's too far out there, and I need to kind of know what is doing what. And of course this is just pure analysis of geometry for you to figure out the best course of action for your model. Let's say I want to do those like that, and I will extrude from in there, from in those, the little loops. So it'll be initially a little bit smaller, but I can go back and fine tune them later. Okay, so that means I was going to go that one down there, that one down there, this one down there. So I'm going to try to find a way to bring them down here to see if I can connect them better. That one actually is coming also this way here. So I'm going to try to see if I can, I know there's going to be another one in the middle there. So this one here, maybe this one becomes that. I'm going to try to match the ones that will give me a bit more information. This one down there. And I'm gonna have just to think a bit to see how I can get these other ones that are kind of left behind or left over. Of course, that means this guy's gonna have to go in the arm, and possibly you know, I have a big polygon down here that is not quite right, and I could try making this one go down the arm, but my arm is getting a lot of edges going down already, and although they may help with the hand down the road, I'm not so sure if I want to do that. So let me just plan a little bit and try to find reference to see what I can do with it. And of course, the logic is that we want to reduce those edges to go somehow and do something else somewhere else. So one element, and that we explained before, is that when you have edges, then you need to not continue down a path. You try to divert them to go somewhere else. So that way, that will generate corners like this with still 5 edge stars, but the same principle that we used for expanding or reducing better edges from one side to the other one. Well, I know this guy has to come down here anyways, no matter what. So I'm gonna do that one for now. And I'm gonna just give a little thought of how to bring these guys down. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find a counterpart for this guy. So I'm gonna say, okay, well, I don't want them to go down here anymore. And I know I have a big space here. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add one edge here. Let me use my add one here, and I'm gonna make them become a loop there. Let me just clean this one up a little bit. So that way I can connect this one with this one. So I have quad, and this one with this one. So that way those become a nice transition there with quads. And I can try doing the same with, that this guy is going to have to go down up here this way. So that means they can connect this other one that is left with this other one, connect them together like this way. And then here, do the same trick. Get that one there and meet that one there. This one's a little bit large, but I'll deal with that later. Okay, so that way I have quads all around. And again, the idea is to pair them, to find another edge somewhere else that they can just meet, and then just generate a 3 quads inside of another bigger quad. Alright, so let me try to build those. Okay, here I just got those built, covering that surface there. I could probably just add an extra couple there, a couple more there. I'll do those when they connect. But here I'm finding a problem that I ended up doing without realizing, and it is that I did the connection and I paired these guys up, but that gave me a 6 edge star, which is not ideal. That will give me some problems that I want to avoid. So I'm going to actually change a little bit. That was gonna force me to expand slightly differently, or do my connections slightly differently. So I'm gonna actually go and click and delete selected those, and I'm gonna try to delete the thing and do it slightly differently. That means I'm gonna have to add an extra edge going down this path here, and then I'm gonna try to create one in the middle there. Let's see if I can click there. Doesn't let me. There, yeah. Come on, it's too far away. There. So this one is giving me an extra edge that I want to solve to make, I'm sorry, not that one. Here, to cover that problem that I'm having right there. That means this one now can plug in here, and then I can have, let's see, you can have this one to come down here and make a point there, so I can create that, and this one there, and another one right here. I'm gonna have to zoom in to do those two because I'm too far away for it to recognize it. But you see that I I ended up with just a 5H one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a little bit of a better. I need to, clean up the flow of the geometry around. For example, this one is a little too far down, and this one is a little bit like that. So I need to kind of smooth and relax it a little bit to get a better result. Let me see, we can do this one here, that one there, and this one connected to that one, and this one connected to that one. Of course I gotta fix the bottom and go all the way around. I'm gonna try doing that off the video here. Okay, so I have those there. Roughly I'm going to unlock my camera to get a bit closer, and then be able to create that one and create that one. And I'm just going to delete my graph pencil tool there, and I still have my object mode there. So I have a rough, add that one to my layer. So you can see roughly, I'm gonna hide the other one. You can see roughly how I'm building and how I'm creating my patches, and the most important aspect of it, I'm following the topology that I need to follow based on my reference. So I'm gonna just continue working here, and I'm gonna just in the next video we're gonna kind of wrap up the other sections that we want to do. Okay.